Ben Sebastian here, curator of the SYMPHONIC podcast and composer of the Kalasin series of albums. Let's talk thrash metal. It doesn't pop up in the podcast often, despite it being a gateway into the world of metal for many, myself included. Early Metallica and Megadeth formed part of my segue into the world of metal music, and in particular, the awesome So Far, So Good, So What album. Man, that still kills it even some 34. Oh my God, yes, 34 years since its release in 1988. Into the Lungs of Hell / Set the World Afire, banging tracks on that LP. Check that out if you don't know it. Anyway, underground and unsigned thrash is still alive and kicking and thrashing around today. And I'd like to introduce you to Grimoire, a traditionally thrash-structured three-piece outfit from Brooklyn, New York. Formed in August in 2021, they've been busy writing, recording, and have released a 3-track EP entitled Unseen Forces. We're going to start with the first track, Pharaohs Curse. Oh, man, I forgot how much I love thrash. So first things first, big thanks to Grimoire for showing me, get my breath back. Big thanks to Grimoire for showing this stuff in my direction. I'm going to be on a major thrash rediscovery quest on Spotify this weekend for sure. Okay, so what I noticed straight off the bat was the vocal style. I'm thinking Motorhead, but in particular, the vocal setup very reminiscent of how Killing Joke came across on their Pandemonium album, and that stuff is kind of like hard to come by. I'll throw some links into this stuff I'm talking about and mentioning and stuff I've yet to mention below. But this is a killer. Like, this is so symbolic of thrash. You had the stop, change, oh man, I absolutely love it. The killer solos, the fucking pauses, stop, starts, everything. This stuff is epic. This is like such a great reintroduction to thrash and an introduction to like how old school thrash really captured our imagination back in the day, and right here in 2022. Right, this has had some pace to it, and I don't want to interrupt the flow so much, so I'm going to push play now on their second track, Frankenstein. Oh, I'm so excited. Whew. Oh, damn. A really big rhythm guitar sound. Rip your face off. Warm. I absolutely love that. Those harmonics are really something that I'm into. I love the use of harmonics so much. And, that had some very early Sabbath type sort of vibe to it. I think the best kind of use of those harmonics is in a band called Emperor. I just love the way that comes across. And yeah, here absolutely beautiful matching. The second track was tighter sounding, kind of more production wise, without losing that old school feel. It really feels that you're kind of in the pit with the men. With this one, really sort of head banging groove, more melodic and nuanced this cut. Showing that thrash isn't just all 100 miles per hour, play as fast as you can type of stuff, which is often the accusation levelled at the genre, and unfairly, in my opinion. One slight critique, and it's made form part of the artist's style, and that's the use of the reverb on the vocals. I feel if maybe you came back on that by about 20%, I think you'd have a balance. So maybe to my ears of that reverby sound that you're aiming for, but with just a little added benefit of clarity. I found in the second cut some of the vocals harder to define than in the first, but a very good follow-up, and I'm really interested to hear the finale here, which is Dawn of the Apocalypse.
mankind reign no more. And with the breaker you seriously did. End of a life fixing like never before. Bodies will cover the urban in red. Horsemen ride through killing fields. You must see its deadly wield. Drain you of your sanity. Give down all humanity.
Call of Cthulhu style opening revealing that Metallica influence, and then we're into a good old traditional kind of thrash bounce. Then it sounds so old school and authentic that I suspect that the band live, if seen, would put on quite an energetic show performance. But that's true to their recorded product. Those vocal similarities I mentioned earlier stand true in this track once again. And it's interesting that in this track that the reverb was taken just a little bit back. As I commented on in Frankenstein, it was a little bit more forward, but in this track it was taken back, and it's certainly in terms of the verse sections and those vocals cut through much nicer in this cut. We've got majestic melodic solos to add even more atmosphere before we're back into sort of stomping sort of thrash again. And I'm just an average listener, so I don't claim to hold any perfect view. But when running this channel and in the music that I listen to, you know, we hear all sorts of production styles, and it's all awesome what we can do these days to produce a nice polish on things with plugins, VST, instruments, mixing, and so forth. But you know, it's been really great to step back today and listen to the soundscape of the three guys just plugging in old school and producing some top-notch thrash metal. Kind of showing us how it was done, can still be done, and should be done. I mean, absolutely brilliant EP. Really enjoyed getting back into some thrash metal after kind of it forming some dust somewhere in my mind. Top track of this is Pharaohs Curse for me. That really has some high energy. Oh, fucking hell, that does it. Give these guys a follow. Grimoire, links are below. You know, they more than deserve it. That's me, Odin, over and out.